Well, golf fans, the Big D is ready for the 2024 golf major season to begin. Before I bring in Tom, please subscribe, like, and share the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page where it is officially Masters Week. Yes, maybe a day or two early, but we're talking all things green jacket, azaleas, drivers, three woods, wedges, maybe a few putters on the Big D podcast. Check it. You can always tune in Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page, see all my content, check us out, Spotify and Apple. So joining us before we watch this is beloved Nottingham Forest hopefully stay in the Premier League against Spurs this Sunday, Tom Jacobs. So Tom, um, who's going to hit into the Forest this at Augusta, right?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for doing this a couple of days early. I know we planned to do it Sunday, but for some reason, the National Rail of England decides to go on strike on Monday, which means the game gets moved to Sunday at a very inconvenient time. But no, this is going to be exciting, right? The Masters this year. I think this is potentially the toughest Masters, Dylan, to predict. Now, we last year were both very confident on John Rahm, right? It was our one and done pick. We were correct on that, and it didn't look. It didn't really take too much sort of picking. He won 3 or 4 times leading into the event. It was fairly obvious. He'd got a really good record there, and you could probably say that Scotty Scheffler's the same version, right? Except he's 4-1 and John Rahm's 10-1. But Scotty Scheffler's still got a putt, hasn't he? The last time I remember, he still had to use the putter at Augusta. I don't think Ted can take over on that. So there's always a concern, especially at 4-1, that a golfer's going to struggle under the pressure of Augusta. So look, he's won one before, and you have to say, Dylan, there's no denying it, that he is the right favourite. But I do think he can be beat, and we'll get into by who in the next sort of half an hour or so, I guess.
Yeah, especially because unless Scotty hits every second shot to like 1'6", and even then he'll miss half those putts anyway.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because he was putting so well for a period of time, and everyone thought, right, now it's over. He can putt as well. Now we're sort of finished, and just like it happened in 2022, you know, these runs with good putting run out for him, and it looks like it did at Houston, albeit he still had a chance to win. He come to the last hole, and if he'd have made a 5-footer, he'd been in the playoff and probably would have won. So we can't discredit him too much at the moment. But yeah, I think there's an opportunity. It's a tough thing to go and win it twice, isn't it, Dylan? And yeah, we shall see who can maybe come out on top instead.
Well, I mean, when it comes to history, I don't know if there are many better venues in golf than Augusta. I mean, maybe St. Andrews. Obviously, Pebble brings the beauty, but you want history, you want tradition. I mean, springtime, the azaleas are blooming. What better place to have golf's first major than Augusta?
I think it, and this is coming from someone that's from the UK, where obviously the Open is so popular. I love the Masters. It's a completely different event for me. I know that everyone loves St Andrews. I think as a golf course, right? If it didn't have the history attached to it, I think that St Andrews is fairly passable, right? Like I don't necessarily think that I'd get that excited about going there, and the history of it is exciting. I've been there. It's nice to walk around, and I wouldn't dare hack it up by playing it myself, but I'm sure the experience of playing is very special. But as a test, I much prefer watching Augusta. And look, it's the only one we see every year, right? And I think that's really important, and I think it's good to have that tradition. I'm glad that there's one major a year that does that. And every tradition that comes with Augusta, whether that be the cabin, Butler's cabin, whether it be the green jacket, whether it be Jim Nance, whether it be the azaleas, whether it be the peach, whatever it is, ice cream that they have there, everything that comes with Augusta, I love. Par 3 competition, everything. I fully immerse myself in it. It's my favourite tournament of the year, and I'm looking forward to watching it all next week.
I mean, and also, usually don't see a lot of surprise winners. Well, maybe except Danny. Well, you see the game's best win. You see Tiger win. You see Phil win. You see Dustin Johnson, Hideki, Scheffler, John Rahm, Jordan Spieth, Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, Nicholas, Tom Watson, Seve. You see golf's legends win there.
Yeah, I think even Danny Willett, right, who, when you read out all those names, probably doesn't fit in. You then consider the fact that 2 majors before that, he'd actually finished 6th in the Open Championship. So not all that surprising. He'd played there the year before. He'd finished 38th at Augusta. He'd finished 6th at the Open. 2 major starts before. I think he'd already won that season as well. The Dubai Desert Classic, which is obviously a link that everyone puts up because of Sergio and Willett both winning there. So there were signs, right? So even though it wasn't really expected, and I'm not going to sit here now and say that I knew Danny Willett was going to win a Masters, it's not that unusual. So I think it's very obvious what you need from a Masters winner. You need someone informed, someone that's contended in a major, and someone that's played Augusta before, generally speaking, is what you need to do.
Where does Augusta rank in terms of sports venues?
I guess I was never fortunate enough as a young child to go to the old Wembley, which I imagine comes with a lot of history, right? I'm guessing you've got, like, what we compare it to, like Madison Square Garden, I guess, is popular, right? I guess you've got things like that, but it's got to be up there. I mean, in terms of just history, in terms of tradition, in terms of just every year people look forward to seeing it. It's not like, because like the Super Bowl changes every year, right? And there's no one place for that. There's no one place for the Olympics. Yeah, I think it's got to be up there. It's got to be top 3 or 4, I guess. I can't think of 3 more important sporting venues. Wimbledon, I guess, maybe is one that people would talk about.
Yeah, especially in your country. I mean, like, in terms of golf venues, like, what would the top 3 or 4 be?
Yeah, in golf venues, that's definitely number 1. Number 2, I don't know. I mean, like, I know people love Pebble Beach just for the scenery, and I get that. I think that's probably number 2, just for the aesthetically pleasing visuals. I'm not a massive, like, course boff, right? Like, I don't really get too excited about golf courses except for Augusta. So I'd probably say those 2. I'd say that Troon gave me one of the best experiences in the Open watching Mickelson and Stenson, right? So that would probably rank up quite highly for me. But yeah, it's definitely 1, 2, Augusta and Pebble for me.
And then maybe St. Andrews because of its importance to the game.
Yeah, I guess like for if you're just looking at people in general, in golf in general, like my personal one, it wouldn't be in the top 3, but for people in terms of history, I guess you have to include St. Andrews, right? Like, you've got so much history there. And so much importance. I mean, Tiger Woods, we saw the emotion he had when he, played in what was definitely going to be his last Open at St. Andrews. So, yeah, I would say that's probably top 3 as well.
It seems like experience matters at Augusta more than any other course because, I mean, you look at the years that somebody's played Augusta, and it's like Hideki won in his 11th year, or Scheffler won in this year, Rahm won in this year, and I think of 2 young guys, one who's won a major, and Wyndham Clark, and the other guy, let me see if I can pronounce his name. Henrik Aberg or Aberg?
Well, it seems to have changed, right? Like, so it used to be Ludwig Aberg, then it sounded like it was Ludwig Aberg, and I think that's where we've landed, Ludwig Aberg or Ludwig Aberg. But yes, whatever, he is the Swedish sensation. If anyone's going to go and do it, I mean, look, whenever we talk about this this trend that's been going on, I mean, Dylan, you'll know the date off the top of your head. I think is it 1979 when Fuzzy Zoeller won it? that's obviously a long-standing tradition, right? There's no getting away from that. But how many times have we been close to a winner coming from their first start? I mean, we talk about when Bubba Watson in 2014, obviously Jordan Spieth was one of the runners-up, but Jonas Blixt was the other one. Like, if Jonas Blixt can nearly win the Masters on his debut, then I'm pretty sure that Ludwig Aberg could win it. Wyndham Clark obviously has made. It's strange that it's actually Wyndham Clark's first Masters. A lot of people won't really put that two and two together until they're told. And look, I'm sure there's other people that have had a really good go at it in their first go, and we just don't really know. But I'm sure Jason Day played it pretty well in his first try. So, you know, I think that. Yeah, I mean, Jason Day was second in 2011. That was his first start, and he was third on his third start. So, you know, that in terms of that being broken, I think it can happen at any time. I don't know. I think that Aberg is good enough to do it this year. I don't think he's going to do it, but he's got the talent to. Jonas Blixt can come second, and Aberg can come first. It's as simple as that.
And then that would create a sweet afternoon in 09 in Stockholm, right?
It would indeed. Sungjae Im second in 2020 as well. So we've had plenty of versions. Was Will Zalatoris making his debut when he comes second to Hideki?
I don't know if Will was in the 2020 Masters.
Let's have a look.
Oh, 2020.
No, that was his debut as well. So 2021, Will Zalatoris. So we've had so many players finish second, and look, Hideki looked very good when he won that, but Zalatoris gave him a real good go. So we've had probably, I mean, more chances than ever, really, to get a first-time winner. It's just not happened. Are Aberg and Clark going to be the people that change it? I mean, Clark has got, well, both of them have got a great game for him, right? They both hit it far off the tee. I just don't know whether they've got the, I don't know, guile to win around there, whether they've got enough skill around the greens and things like that.
What do you need to win around Augusta? Because seemingly, Augusta will test every aspect of your game. And I mean, we know the course change. I mean, the par 5 seconds now, 10 yards long. But what do you need around Augusta?
So look, the length is advantageous from the sense that you can get away with missing the fairway. You can play out of the pine straw. So it's always advantageous to have length. I don't think it's necessarily a prerequisite. I think you can do it without length. I mean, we've seen it over the years. It's needed some dodgy weather for someone like Zach Johnson to win it. But I don't think it's something. I mean, Tiger Woods wouldn't have been the longest player in the field when he won it in 2019, right? Hideki's not the longest. He's certainly long enough, but he's not the longest. So I don't necessarily think it's length that is the dominating thing. I think it's just his creativity around the greens. I think is so important. You see those sort of tough runoffs, and I think that's why Hideki suits the Masters so well. He's played even without his win, Dylan. I think he's one of the most impressive champions of recent years, and how well he's played there since. Scotty Scheffler's got those shots in the bag. Jon Rahm's got those shots in the bag. I think you need to know how to get up and down around the greens to really set yourself apart, because you are going to miss greens. They're hard to hit. You can certainly run off. That's the whole design of the green. So how you perform around there is really important. And as you said, it's an all-round test. I think the real thing is, and why people probably struggle to win it on their first go, is it's hard to know the breaks of every putt. And interestingly, Rory spoke about this a couple of days ago, about you just can't be too aggressive there. You can't be too aggressive because you could be going to shoot 67 and you'll shoot at 75, whereas if you maybe just try and shoot 70, you could shoot 68. That's basically how he framed it. And I think it's really important. You've got to be patient. You've got to be confident around the greens. You just got to have the whole package. It's simple as that. And that's why I love this golf course. There's no way of just overpowering it.
And also you look at it, places to miss, like at 12. Don't hit it in the water. Don't hit it in the bunker. Remember Tiger when he won the 2019 Masters? Literally everybody else went swimming, and Tiger went between the water and the bunker.
Yeah. And that shows everything, right? Like Molinari was so good all week, right? And then that has basically ended his career almost. That one shot going into the water. He's never really recovered from that. And Obviously Tony Finau was in that same group and made the same mistake, but it's why you see. I mean, look, Dustin Johnson, Hideki Matsuyama were both fairly experienced. Tiger Woods obviously was. Sergio was, very well experienced when he won it in 2017. Yes, you had Scheffler and Jon Rahm when it's slightly younger and in their first few attempts, but generally speaking, we saw Phil Mickelson come second last year out of nowhere. So experience certainly counts for everything. So I think that's why you see the same players. It's why, Dylan, every single time I talk to you, I try and convince you that Justin Rose is going to win a major because he's played them so much. Spoiler alert, not going to try and do that this year. Not sure he's playing well enough. But yeah, it's an all-round test, and certainly experience comes to the fore.
Wait! I thought you were going to bet Justin Rose at 100-1 now.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be some sort of demon on my shoulder probably on Monday that says to me, "Do it," and I'll probably have another go. But no, as things stand, he's not even in my thinking, which is a good place for me and Justin Rose. I think it's a good agreement for us to come to.
Okay, so I think this is the perfect cutting off point. Hot or not?
Okay.
Speaking of hot golfers heading to Augusta and not hot golfers going into Augusta. So, you want to go hot or not first?
I'll go with hot first.
Can we start with Scotty Scheffler, please? I hear he won Bay Hill Players and then was one shot of the playoff in Houston. Number one strokes gain in 2020s. Number one strokes gain around the green. Number one in greens and regulation. I say he's doing okay, right?
Yeah, I think we can safely say that Scotty Scheffler is under the category of hot golfer, and that's not based on his looks or appearance. That's based on his form. I mean, there'll be plenty of people out there that do think he's hot. But yes, I think we can safely say that Scotty Scheffler is indeed the hottest golfer in the field right now, and definitely ready to win a second green jacket. Whether he's going to do it or not, I don't know. Whether he's value at 4-1, I don't know. But it's undeniable how well he's playing.
You might not like him because of what he did at Bay Hill, but Wyndham Clark won Pebble.
Yeah,
played well at Bay Hill. I mean, maybe lacks the experience, but I mean, he won a U.S. Open in LA last summer.
Yeah. In terms of just pure form, it's Scheffler and Clark, isn't it? There's one other player that I think you'll probably come on and talk to that's potentially splitting those two up in terms of form. But if you're looking just for the hottest golfers, then Scheffler and Wyndham Clark, with recent wins, definitely have to come to the fore.
Do you have a couple of guys who are hot in your book?
Yeah. So I think for me, we've talked about him a couple of times already. Hideki Matsuyama is playing so well. He's playing so well. There was obviously a concern when I don't know how you could be concerned about winning, right? But the sort of knock was that he won with a 62 when he was kind of out of it on Sunday at Riviera. How was he going to react to that? Well, all he's done since then is finished 12th at Bay Hill, where he was the 36-hole leader, and 6th at the Players' Championship. And I'm pretty sure, I haven't actually checked the final scores yet, but I'm pretty sure he's, playing okay at Texas Open as well. So I'm pretty comfortable that Hideki Matsuyama, he shot 2 under today. He's in 34th place as we speak. I'm very confident that Hideki Matsuyama is going to go on and have another good week.
I don't know if it's weird because a couple of weeks ago it looked like Scotty Scheffler was dealing with like a neck spasm.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he won the Bay Hill and the Players, and then Wyndham Clark was dealing with a little spasm last week, and now I think Hideki. Do you worry about all these guys getting neck and back spasms because Hideki's got all these nooks and crannies, right?
If anyone's going to be injured next week, it'll be Hideki. He is the most injury-prone athlete probably in the world. He does not like staying fit. You never know whether he's fit. He never tells you. But I just have to take it on the surface, and the surface suggests that he's in absolutely perfect form to win at Augusta for the second time.
No, I'll tell you a guy who's never fit, and that's Reece James, the Chelsea right wing back.
Yeah. I mean, rather you than me having to watch that guy. All I know is he's not going to be relied on for the Euros, is he, for England? But I'll tell you what, really encouraging, top 20 right now around the green for Hideki Matsuyama. I don't know if he's purposely working on that area of his game ready for next week, but that's what I like to see. And he's not putting very well, which is Hideki Matsuyama all over, right? So we know he could be a couple of shots better with that. So he would be my first hot player to focus on. The other one is a bit of a weird one. So low rookie last year, Dylan. Sahith Theegala playing really well, right? Like he was second behind Chris Kirk. He put me under pressure when I picked Kirk at the Century. He was the 36 and 54 leader at Phoenix, where he finished fifth. He finished sixth again. I think that was at Bay Hill. Ninth at the Players. 28th last week in Houston. A lot to like about what Sahith Theegala is doing and the suitability to this golf course. So I think he's coming in hot. Interestingly, I don't know whether coming in knowing that you played well last year adds a bit of pressure and that affects his game, because last year he basically had nothing to lose. He might as well give it a go, right? But what you should take away from it is that he's absolutely got the game for it. I'm pretty sure that he broke the magic threshold of 70, which he did. He shot 67 in the final round last year. Once you've broken 70 at Augusta, you're then considered someone that can contend, and that's the golden rule. So he's tipped that one off.
And played well on difficult golf courses too. Which I like. Harder the better.
Yeah, and just anywhere that he can just smash his driver and not really worry too much about what's going to happen to it suits Sahith Theegala. So no surprise he played well here last year.
You must have read you and I must have read the same article by a friend of both of us.
I haven't actually done much reading at all. This is probably the first time I haven't read other people's previews. So whoever it is that you're referencing there, they're onto the right lines.
Yeah, because he mentioned a guy who won't be named mentioned two of the guys we've discussed, that being Hideki and Sahith.
There we go.
Now,
are we calling him Voldemort, or is it the man who must not be named?
He might be coming later in the weekend.
Nice. Well, then there we go. We won't spoil it for them.
Well, unfortunately, with hot golfers, there are not golfers. And Tom, explain a couple of your not golfers.
So this one's a bit of a hot take, I guess. I don't think Rory McIlroy is playing well enough. He is playing well in Texas right now, and that is a great sign. I mean, he's 5 under, he's in 4th place, but he is 6 shots behind Akshay Bhatia, so it doesn't necessarily look like he's just going to go on and win. But the rumours are that he's gone to visit Butch Harmon. He's searching for something in his game. And that's not really what you want to be doing a couple of weeks before Augusta, right? I know people can turn it around pretty quickly. If anyone's going to turn it around quickly, it'll probably be him. We don't even have it confirmed necessarily that he's, working with him, just that he's had a look at his game. So he would be one that I'm a little bit concerned about. The other one, Dylan, Justin Thomas. This guy is talked about Augusta every single year. Every single year we say we fall into this trap of maybe it's his year, maybe he's going to do it. He showed so many good signs. He just can't do all 4 rounds. And then his last 4 events, miscut 12th, miscut 64th. And that 12th was at the Arnold Palmer, where he was, inside the top 12 all week. 64th at Valspar, he was 6th going into the weekend, and he shot a Saturday 79. That's reason for concern, I think. And he's just fired his caddy.
And he fired Bones Mackay.
By the way, that's a really strange decision a couple of weeks before the Masters. You'd think you'd use his expertise for one more week, wouldn't you, before making that decision? So, yeah, definitely searching for something there. I think he's got maybe Patrick Cantlay's old caddy on his bag for the Masters. I don't know if that was Patrick Huntley's caddy when he had a chance of winning here, but there we go. I think it's the one that he won the Tour Championship with. So there you go. Read into that what you will.
By the way, I know you're a golf savant. Do you know how many top tens Rory's achieved on the PGA Tour this year? I don't care about the Dubai Desert Classic or the DP World Tour events.
He hasn't, has he? 0? Yeah.
Dippity doo-dah.
Yeah. He'll get one this week. That's what's going to happen. He's going to get one this week in Texas. Everyone's going to go mental. It's Rory's week. And then he'll shoot 73 on Thursday, and that'll be the end of his run.
And he'll frustrate us.
Here is Dylan, and this isn't the official trivia question because I've got that for you later. And I don't know if you saw the tweet that I put out. So if you did, this is going to be a very short test. How many times has Rory McIlroy broken 70 in round 1 at Augusta?
0.
No, he has done it.
1 time?
No. 2 times he's done it. Okay, so the first time was in 2011, where we know what happened. He threw the Masters away. I think it was a final around 80. And then he done it the year that he was in the final group with Patrick Reed. So the 2 times, so the 2 times that he has broken 70 on Thursday, he's had a chance to win, and they're the only 2 chances he's ever had to win at Augusta. I don't care that you finished second 2 years ago, whatever it was. They're the only 2 times he had a chance to win.
And by the way, didn't Patrick Reed? I don't want to bring this back to you because 2016 Ryder Cup at Hazeltine, but didn't Patrick Reed beat Rory McIlroy at the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, well, I think that was all the thing was that he was going to get his own back at the Augusta, and what happened? I think he put it in the trees on the first hole, right? So, look, I would love for golf's sake, I would love Rory McIlroy to get the Grand Slam. I mean, heaven forbid, anyone that deserves it is him. But I don't think he likes his course as much as people think he does.
Honestly, I think Rory faces too much pressure, not just because he needs the Masters for the Grand Slam, but with this live movement. I think Rory is under so much stress being the PGA Tour leader right now because we know Jay Monahan is more a person than decision maker.
Yeah, and I think that was why we saw him miss the cut last year. Like he was just all the speculation was he going to talk to the live players? Was he going to do? I mean, it wasn't at the Champions Dinner, was he? So it's not like he had anyone's fall out with there. But yeah, I don't know. If he breaks 70 on Thursday, he has a chance to win. If he doesn't, he won't. But there's the take. He just needs to get because, like you said, Dylan, he puts himself under so much pressure. He gets that Thursday, he tries too hard, shoots 73, and he's out of it. It's just what he's done every year.
By the way, a guy who both of us picked in majors last year has fallen off the cliff. Like, I have no idea what happened with Victor Hovland, but literally Victor Hovland, you know what my favorite term is? Victor Hovland couldn't hit water if he fell off a boat right now.
Well, he probably could hit water with a golf ball. That's probably what he could do. He is... I don't want to swear on your podcast, Dylan, but he is not good right now. He sucks, which is a shame because I, for a good period of last year, thought he was going to potentially get to world number 1, and then all of a sudden, gone. I think he might have got an offer to go to live, and there was probably some disruption there. That's the only thing I can think of, because I just don't know how your game suffers that badly.
I mean, he's like Justin Thomas. He's like Jordan Spieth or Ricky Fowler a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll say all this, and like he was right in the thick of it at the Century for a couple of rounds, but not good at Pebble, not good at. I mean, he was fine at Riviera, top 20. Didn't play very well at Bay Hill at the weekend. He's just not playing a lot either. He's not playing a lot. We're not seeing a lot of Victor Hovland either, which is strange. So I wonder if there's potentially some sort of injury there or whatever. I don't know, but not the perfect prep. He's definitely in the not file, isn't he, Dylan, for this week?
Which is unbelievable.
Well, I love to lose money on him. So, yeah, I would certainly rank him with my Justin Rose kind of selection.
By the way, you want to know what Victor Hovland's what Victor Hovland's line is?
Go on.
Take a wild guess.
25.
You will blow your hair will blow off your head right now.
I can't afford that to happen.
On the DK Sportsbook, Victor Hovland is not 25-1. He's 35-1.
He probably deserves to be, right? Like he I don't know. I don't even want to bet him at 35-1, which is crazy because I was betting him for
like Victor Hovland's with Justin Johnson and Bryson DeChambeau. I probably bet both those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Bryson at Augusta. We've been down that path, haven't we? With him saying it was a par 67 for him, but DJ certainly can't be questioned, can he? I guess it's all gonna, come down to how they're playing in Doral right now. I guess. I mean, it seems like better prep, Dylan, than what they had last year.
Well, maybe as good, if not better prep than the Vallejo.
By the way, just as an FYI, Brooks Koepka has just made 2 late birdies and he's now 3 under par through 17 holes at Live Golf Miami, and he is a couple of shots off the lead. So he won Orlando last year, and then he probably should have won the Masters. Just wanted to alert everyone to that before all the prices go. That Brooks Koepka might be on the card, let's say.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka is 18-1. Yeah, that seems about right.
But don't you think, like, if he was on the PGA Tour, and even if he wasn't playing very well, if he was just on the PGA Tour, wouldn't he be shorter odds?
12-1.
Yeah. For no reason other than the fact that he wasn't on the Live Tour. And he already showed last year he did nothing, won Live Orlando, or finished second at Augusta, said at the end of the round, I made a mistake, I'll never do that again, and then won the PGA Championship. And we got to the point where we realised we don't need to worry about Brooks' preparation. I think he's fine.
Honestly, I just wish the Live and PGA Tour golfers could find an agreement so we can see the best golfers in the world.
They will.
It's sort of, I mean, Sawgrass felt empty without Brooks, without Bryson, without DJ, without Ron.
But this is why you're getting stranger winners, right? Like if we talk about people that have won this year, I mean, I was on one of them in Chris Kirk. You had Grayson Murray win. You've had Nick Dunlap win at 1,000-1. You've had all sorts of other things happen this year, and I just don't think. I don't think they happen.
Stephen Yeager won the Houston Open or whatever tournament it was.
So if we've got Taylor Gooch, Sergio, Patrick Reed, Bubba Watson, Matthew Wolff, Rahm, all these players in it. I'm just going down the list now. I'm not even picking these people out. DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, all these players, Mito Pereira, Joaquin Niemann, all those guys in these events, you would have to think that one of them would have won those tournaments. So it definitely changes the landscape.
Yeah, everybody's bank account, because you imagine if one of these Live guys would win and Stefan Yeager couldn't win and book his spot on the Open, or like Terrell Hatton pissing everybody off at the last second and saying, I'm gonna join Live. It's like this feels like we'll get into a big compromise.
Yeah, it will happen. I think what will probably happen is we will get them playing 3 or 4 events a year, and people will go and play a bit of team golf for a couple of weeks and Live, and it will become that sort of thing. I don't think they'll forever. I don't think Live will just go away. And I think the players that are there will still be a part of it, but I think they'll be able to play the players, Bay Hill. They'll just have invites. All the invitational events will just be allowed to invite them, I think.
Which would be better for the viewing party, because mean, if we have a final round of name me two final pairing of signature or major event of two guys, you name me two guys.
If we had Scotty Scheffler versus Brooks Koepka, it'd be more exciting, wouldn't it?
Yes, and it would be better. I mean, it was fun watching Rahm and Brooks last year at Augusta. It didn't matter if one guy, well, now both guys all live.
Yeah. But that's a classic example. I don't dislike Jon Rahm now because he's gone to live. So I much preferred the final round we got between Jon Rahm and Brooks Koepka. I would have done if it was Jon Rahm versus Stephen Yeager. So let's figure it out. Let's get the adults in the room and figure out the idea. But
otherwise, I'm going to fly on drive to Ponte Vedra Beach and personally confront Mr. Monahan about it.
I think there'll be a long queue of people that want to do that. But there we go.
Are there any comparable courses for Augusta? I mean, the obvious one is a guy who Hideki won at earlier this year, Riviera.
Yeah, I think Riviera is the best one. We were talking off air before we come on here, Dylan, about actually maybe Doral is actually not a bad little warm-up, right? I mean, you look at the people that have won there. Adam Scott, 2016 in Doral, won the Masters. Dustin Johnson, 2015 in Doral, won the Masters. Patrick Reed, 2014 Doral, won the Masters. Tiger Woods, 2013, won the Masters multiple times. Justin Rose, 2012, should have won the Masters, lost to Sergio Garcia. Phil Mickelson, 2009, won the Masters. The list goes on. Charles Schwartzel has been a runner-up there and then won the Masters.
Did you say DJ?
Yeah, DJ 2015. So, and Bubba Watson, 2-time runner-up, 3-time runner-up at this golf course in Doral, and won the Masters twice. So, potentially, everyone's sort of saying about how silly it is their schedule. Maybe it isn't. So, I wouldn't get too caught up. I mean, look, I think the people that are going to contend at in Live Golf Miami this week would already have been good at Augusta anyway. So I don't think you're going to find any hidden gems going that way, but it's certainly one to consider. Yeah, it's that. I think it's Riviera. I think that's probably the best. You know, and just purely because of the creativity, I guess, around the greens and things like that. But yeah, provided many crossovers.
Yeah, Riviera and maybe Muirfield, the Memorial, because of those hard, fast greens.
Yeah, and again, you've had the same sort of winners there, right? I think it's just a case of it's the most demanding golf course, regardless of what scores you get. I mean, I know Dustin Johnson won a 20 under when it was in November and it was all soft and everything like that. But any course that generally hovers around the 10 under par mark is a true test of golf, right? Like it's a real true test of golf. And anywhere that demands that same sort of score, those same sort of assets of chipping around the greens, I think are worth focusing on.
Yeah, especially because seemingly Master Champs something like that 11, 10 to 12, 13 under par range where guys can make birdies, but you can make a big number if you go swimming on 11, 12, 13, 15, or maybe my one and done did at 16 a few years ago. How do you hit the water on 16, for heaven's sake?
Well, hopefully he doesn't do it this year for your sake.
Otherwise, I'm going to be sending my money across the Atlantic.
Should we get into those one and dones? Do we want to talk about those? Is it time?
No, I wait a few minutes, but I want to hear your bets.
Okay. So, right now, I have two that I'm definitely going to be playing. I have made one bet that I think I almost instantly regretted after I placed it. So that one was Sam Burns. So I was looking at the Masters odds, right? And I was sitting there thinking, whose odds kind of stick out? And at this point in time, Sam Burns had just finished 6th, 10th, 3rd, and 10th in 4 events. And I thought, well, this guy's 50 to 1. He played really well for at least one round last year, maybe two at Augusta. Maybe, just maybe, this is the time that Sam Burns breaks through in a major. He was 68 after 68 in round one, 71 in round two last year, and it was only really Saturday. He was terrible. He shot 78, but otherwise he was right there to kind of place. So he was the potentially instant regret. But the two guys I'm 100% going to be on next week, unless, of course, we've mentioned one of them gets injured before he gets there. Brooks Koepka is number one, and Hideki Matsuyama is number two. And I'll give you the reasons as to why. I mean, Hideki Matsuyama's won this year, and he's won at Augusta. So I don't really need to explain Hideki Matsuyama too much, right? Like he's playing well. He's been phenomenal at Augusta. A lot of players, Dylan, you'll know this, a lot of players really struggle after they win at the Masters. They then struggle for the foreseeable future. Hideki Matsuyama's finished 14th and 16th in his two starts there since. So I'm pretty comfortable with Hideki Matsuyama. Brooks Koepka is someone that has had as many chances as Rory to win the Masters already. He's finished second twice, right? I think is really important to point out that Brooks has played here 8 times, Rory's played here 15 times, and they both had 2 legitimate chances of winning. So 2019 he led after rounds 1 and 2. He was the co-leader. He was 3 back going into the final round in 2019. We know Tiger Woods obviously won that year, but Brooks only actually finished 1 shot short of him.
Didn't happen to finish 1 shot behind Tiger that year?
Yeah, so he finishes 1 shot behind him that year. Last year, he's 2 clear after 2 rounds. He's 2 clear after 3 rounds, and then he loses somehow by 4 to Jon Rahm because he shoots a final round 75. You could say, right, that's it. He's finally lost his bottle in the majors, and he can be beaten. Goes and wins the PGA the very next year. So now you're looking at Brooks and you go, okay, well, he had 2 missed cuts when he was basically injured in 2021 and 2022. His last 3 starts other than that, 2nd in 2019, 7th in 2020, 2nd in 2023. He was 11th in 2017. And Dylan, what happened to Brooks Koepka in 2018?
Wait, at Augusta?
Not at Augusta. What happened to Brooks Koepka in 2018, which may have affected Augusta?
He won the U.S. Open and PGA.
He did, but he didn't play at Augusta that year because he was recovering from his wrist surgery. So he had all that time off, had to miss the Masters because he was having wrist surgery, and then went and won the next 2 majors. So we could conceivably, we've missed a year where probably, you talk about when Dustin Johnson fell down the stairs. We talk about when Rory McIlroy broke his ankle, whatever he did when he had a chance to win the Open. And Brooks missed probably the best opportunity he's ever had in terms of form to go and win the Masters. So I think it's his year. I think he served this apprenticeship, Dylan, that everyone seems to have served. Very similar, I think, in terms of preparation at Augusta for Jon Rahm. I mean, we talk about Jon Rahm. He's played there 6 times before winning, and Brooks has played there 8. So there's not much in it. I think I feel very, very strongly that it's Brooks Koepka's year. So Brooks Koepka 1, Hideki Matsuyama 2. I've got that bet on Sam Burns. I'm going to be transparent with that and just tell people that that's there. And, if it comes off, then great. And I've got one other person I'm kind of toying with at the moment. And this is going to surprise you, I think, because it surprised me. I think Cameron Young can get his first win in a major. And
I really like Cameron Young last year, but to be honest with you, I think Cameron Young's going to feel. Cameron Young might be a better top 10 play.
100%. You are completely correct. That is definitely the way to play him. He's probably better to play as a first round leader. He's probably better to play as top 20. He shot 2 77s on his debut, but then last year, opened with a 67, shot a 72 in round 2. Struggled on Saturday, shot a 75, and then shot a final around 68. And we know Cam Young has been playing good golf. I mean, he should have won the Valspar. Peter Malnati gets the better one in there. finished 4th at the Cognizant Classic, 8th at the Phoenix Open, and 3rd in Dubai, where again he should have won. Danny Willett and Sergio both won the Dubai Desert Classic before they won the Masters. Cam Young was the 50 who led there for 3 rounds this year. We know he's probably going to throw it away on Sunday, but at some point, Dylan, I think talent takes over and you just end up winning, even if by mistake you just somehow stumbled into a victory. I just think that maybe the odds are long enough that Cam Young could do that.
Might be a better bet. What is he? 50? I think he's 55-1 now.
Yeah, I mean he is. 50-1 in England, so probably a little bit bigger in America, maybe.
Yeah, that would be an interesting bet. Who's going to win a major first between the Wake Forest guys, Cam Young or Will Zalatoris?
I mean, look, I think if I had to pick, it would be Will Zalatoris, just because we know he's so good here. He's been so good in the PGA as well. But I would pick Zalatoris, but Zalatoris isn't 50-1, right? So that's the main
35-1. Yeah, 35-1.
So there you go.
By the way, Colin Morikawa at 40-1. Talk about a guy. Whatever happened to him?
So that's a really interesting one, Morikawa, because he is not playing well, is he? It's fair to say. I mean, he won. Did he win the Zozo? Is that what he won? He won the Zozo, right? And everyone thinks, okay, Colin Morikawa's back. Finishes 5th at the Century, decent start to the season. Missed cut 14th, 19th, missed cut 45th. It's been really, really bad for Morikawa. But he made his debut in the November Masters in 2020. He finished 44th. Wasn't very good that week, but then finished 18th, 5th, and 10th in his 3 starts at Augusta when it's been in its usual traditional April slot. So signs are there as someone that's a big price golfer.
Yeah, but I feel like Morikawa would be better on like a PGA setup. Like, I still feel like we need a few more years.
I think it's more just his irons are just not good enough at the moment. Like I think if he was playing his best golf, then I think it would be absolutely fine. I think the course is fine for him, but I just don't think he's quite playing well enough.
I'm with you on Hideki. If you got him at 25, 28, 30, I think Hideki is a great play. A guy who is playing really well this year, nearly won in 2019, nearly won in 2021. Xander Schauffele. I mean, Xander's done everything but win this year. Darn you, Scotty. Darn you, Scotty, for wrecking Xander those 2 weeks.
I can't do the Xander thing. I think I'd rather not bet Xander, just knowing that I can just go, do you know what? Good for him if he wins, because he's so talented. But I mean, he's got to be one of the most frustrating people in the world to bet.
Oh, Patrick Cantley, right?
Yeah, well, probably Cameron Young. I mean, I just talked about Cameron Young for 5 minutes. It's probably Cameron Young, but Xander is hard to watch. He should have won the Players.
Should have won. And then of course he's out of Valspar and then shoots a fine around 65 to backdoor top 5.
Sounds like Xander Schauffele, doesn't it?
Oh,
let's before we go.
And then I do have one other guy, and you will think, and I hope you don't think I'm crazy. It's a guy from Georgia, but it's not Brian Holman.
It's not. Okay, I know who it is, but I'll let you go.
See if you can guess.
Is it Chris Kirk?
No.
Oh, then I don't know who it is.
He's in contention this week at the Valero.
From Georgia, Russell Henley.
Yes.
Okay. Now, it's not crazy. He's not going to win. But if you're playing him as a top 10, I don't mind it.
I mean, Russell Henley finished 4th at the Masters last year, tied 14th at the U.S. Open, tied 30th at the 2022 Masters. His ball striking's really good, and if he gets one of those streaky putter weeks, Find me a harder golfer than Russell Henley.
Russell Henley at this golf course as well misses cut on debut, been 31st, 21st, 11th, 15th, 30th, and 4th. It's one of the best records, really, of people that haven't won here, right? So I like it. I think it's cool. I mean, I thought you were going to go with Chris Kirk, so there you go. It's definitely an improvement on that. But yes, I get it. I get it. Let's talk about, just quickly before we move on then, maybe, and I guess he probably comes in this category of just players that we think could finish top 20, for example, but not necessarily win. I'm thinking someone like a Shane Lowry, who somehow has figured out how to play at Augusta. He's finished 21st, 3rd, and 16th the last 3 years at Augusta, 25th the year before that. So he's had 4 top 25s in a row at Augusta. We know what he's done this season. He probably should have won already this year. 4 top 30s in a row, 4th and 3rd in that span. I think Shane Lowry could be a sneaky little top 20 pick, maybe. I don't think he's going to win.
Yeah, especially, the harder the golf course, the better Shane Lowry is. All right, how about Siwoo Kim then?
Siwoo Kim, definitely a top 20 shout, right? Like 24th, 21st, 34th, 12th. A couple of more top 40 finishes here. Been really solid. A little bit like Henley, missed his first cut and then has really kicked on at the golf course since. Playing really well this year without contending would be my slight concern. I'll tell you what's going to happen. That not many people are thinking about the RBC Heritage, Dylan, but Siwoo Kim is going to finish 23rd this week at Augusta, and then he's going to win the Heritage. So we'll save this little clip here for when Siwoo Kim does exactly that, because that's been my theory for about 2 or 3 weeks now. That's how things are going to play out. So yeah, I mean, if he goes and misses a cut, and he misses a cut in both weeks, then you can clip that up as well, and that'd be good fodder for people. But I think he plays well this week without really threatening to do anything, and then wins the Heritage, because that's how far he can hit it.
All right, so you know me, I am the trivia savant. You try and fail every year to fool me. What do you have up your sleeve this year?
Okay, so the first one. So I'm going to have 3 questions in, because I'm desperate to beat you. Which golfer? And this is the only way I'm going to beat you, because I'm not going to give you options. You're just going to tell me who it is. Who played in the most Masters before they finally got their green jacket? So who played in X amount of Masters before they finally won?
Adam Scott?
No. Similar sort of era. Sergio Garcia. So you got it on the second go. The other options in the quiz were Phil Mickelson and Mark O'Meara. So Phil
would have only played like 12 or 13. I think Sergio played at 17 before winning.
There you go. So not only can you tell me that it was him, but you can also tell me how many he played. So that's pretty impressive. I've got another one here. Name the only player to finish second to both Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods at the Masters.
Wow.
This, by the way, is the one that I thought I'd get you on. This is about the only time I thought I was going to win. So if you get this one, I'm not even going to give you the third question.
I'm thinking. So he would have finished second to Jack in 86 and Tiger when he won by 10 in 97.
Correct.
Did he ever win a green jacket or major of any kind?
He did win a major. He didn't win a green jacket. He had 3 seconds at Augusta. He had a second in the Open Championship, and he won a US Open.
Tom Kite? Because I remember the 86 Open, Tom Kite was there, Seppi was there, and Norman was there. I'm like, Tom Kite.
There you go. Tom Kite is the answer. So that was one I thought I was going to beat you with. Maybe I gave you too many clues. Maybe that was my.
No, I actually knew it was Tom
You
Kite.
knew it. Of course you did. And who was the first player to shoot 63 at the Masters?
Recently or not recently?
Well, that's for you to figure out. The first player to shoot 63 at Augusta.
Did he win that said tournament?
I don't know the answer to that question. I'm going to say no, because I don't think he's ever won the Masters.
Well, that took away my guess.
Who is your guess?
I mean, well, no, I was just kidding. I mean, if Roy?
No. I'll give you one clue. It was in the 86 Masters.
Oh gosh. Well, it couldn't have been Jack because he got a 65 in the final round. Seppi? No. Don't. I knew I should have watched more 86 Masters before.
You have to go watch this on YouTube now and find that one out.
Oh gosh. How far back? Okay, you got me for once.
Nick Price shot the first ever 63 at Augusta National.
Was in the third round, the final round?
Third round.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a shot of redemption. Who shot the second ever 63 at Augusta?
How much later was this in?
This was in 10 years later.
Greg Norman?
Correct.
And well, yeah, he led by 6 shots, and then
And then did a Rory, I guess.
Roy times live.
And I've got one other for you. This is completely off the cuff. As we've joked about him already on this show, how many times has Justin Rose led after round 1 at Augusta?
4?
4 times. So he did it three Masters appearances in a row for him. 2004, 2007, 2008. He did it again in 2021. He was second in 2015, fourth in 2016, fourth in 2017, sixth in 2020. So if you're going to bet on Justin Rose this year, just bet him on the first round leader. For some reason, I don't know if he just gets a better night's sleep than everybody else in Georgia. I don't know, but
maybe he doesn't get food poisoning from the Champions dinner.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, there could be some suspicious activity in John Rahm's dinner this year as well. So he's lucky to avoid that.
All right, go ahead and ask me. You know what time it is.
Dylan, one and done. 2024 Masters, first major of the year, first one of 4 that we'll do this year, first show of 4 that we'll do. This tradition, like any other, is not the Masters. It's me coming on your show for the majors. Who is going to be your one and done for the Masters?
You know what? I'm tired of this guy finishing second in every major. 8 of the last 9 Masters champions have been first-time Masters champions. It's going to be 9 out of 10 this year because John Rahm will put the green jacket on Xander Schauffele.
Okay. I've already given you my thoughts on Xander Schauffele. I think he's excellent. I think he's brilliant. I think he just needs to get out of his own way. I completely agree with you. He's going to be 9 out of the last 10 in terms of first-time major champions. John Rahm is going to put the green jacket on a new Masters champion. He's also going to put it on someone from Liv, and that's because Brooks Koepka is going to win the 2024 Masters. I am so sure that he is going to at least contend this week. Surer than I've been in a long time. I just don't see a world where Brooks Koepka does not have something to say about the Masters this year. He's just finished his first round at Doral, which we're saying could be a good comp, and he's 3 under par, 2 off the lead behind Sergio Garcia, Taylor Gooch, Peter Uline, and Scott Vincent. So there you go. That's where he is at the moment.
Whew. Things are getting spicy.
How would that do for golf if Brooks Koepka goes and wins the Masters? I reckon that would accelerate the conversation about getting these guys back on the PGA Tour.
I bet you what Roy and some of these guys would be thinking. What the bleep are we going to do now?
Exactly that. Before we go, Dylan, obviously you want Xander Schauffele to win for one and done purposes. I'm assuming you like Xander Schauffele as a player. But if you could, putting all betting aside, putting all picks aside, if you could just pick one person to win the Masters for your enjoyment, who would you like to see win?
I mean, from the neutral point of view, it'd be Roy and it wouldn't even be close.
Okay. But from your like, if you just were being selfish and you could say, right, I'm going to put that green jacket on someone, who is it going to be?
Oh, then it'd be Will Zalatoris.
Okay, so Will Zalatoris is for you. I think you probably know mine.
Justin Rose.
Justin Rose has to win the Masters. It's just unbelievable. I cannot believe we've had so many years of him. What 4 times he's got his hopes up now of winning the Masters and just been obliterated.
You need to bet him for the Olympics, mate.
Well, that's probably where he'll win, right?
If he makes the Team GP team, he might not even make the team because
he probably will by default because everyone else has decided they want to play.
All right, Tom. Thanks for hopping on. Hopefully, all one and done picks play in the final group next week, and we'll be raking in the dough.
Yep, absolutely. Let's hope so.